Hey there, coin lovers and pocket change pros, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies jangling around at the bottom of your junk drawer or rattling in your cup holder? Be honest. Most of us wouldn't give a second glance to a lonely old penny. But what if I told you that one of those brown little guys could be worth nearly $600,000? Yeah, you heard me right. $589,000. For a 2004 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. No gold plating. Just a regular looking penny with a crazy secret. And today we're diving deep into why that coin is turning heads in the collector's world and what makes it so insanely valuable. Now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions or tearing apart your car for spare change, hang with me for the next 50 minutes and I'll walk you through everything you need to know about this magic money penny. Alright, buckle up, grab that shoebox of old coins and let's get started. A penny for your thoughts. Or maybe $500,000. So here's the scoop. The 2004 Lincoln penny is a pretty standard coin at first glance. It's got good ol' Abraham Lincoln on the front, rockin' that beard in serious look. Flip it over and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial standing tall. Sounds basic, right? The one we're talking about has no mint mark. Now, usually pennies made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. That's normal. What's not normal is what's hiding behind the scenes of this one specific penny minted in 2004. We're talking about an extremely rare error coin that somehow slipped past all the quality control and found its way into circulation, and when collectors hear the word error they start foaming at the mouth like coin hunting hound dogs. Glad you asked. This isn't just any 2004 penny without a mint mark. This bad boy has some funky business going on. We're talking off-center strikes, die breaks, doubling, and in some ultra-rare cases a composition anomaly where the penny was struck on a planchet that wasn't even meant for a penny. Imagine trying to bake a chocolate chip cookie and someone accidentally throws in potato chips instead. Boom, instant collector's item. The most famous 2004 no mint mark penny that sold for that mind-blowing $589K was a total anomaly. It had a dramatic double die error that caused Lincoln's features and the words "In God We Trust" to appear like they'd had one too many cups of coffee. Jittery and doubled. Combine that with pristine condition and boom, you've got a coin that made someone rich off a single cent. So let's say you find a 2004 penny that looks a little funky. What now? Well, my friend, the first thing you gotta do is check the condition. Grading is the name of the game in the coin world. A penny in mint state can make all the difference between pocket change and a payday. You're looking for coins that are crisp, clean, and have that fresh off the mint shine. No scratches, no gunk, no signs your dog tried to chew it. Just a clean, crisp error coin in tip-top shape. One of the top grading companies like PCGS or NGC will slap an official grade on it, and that's what opens the door to big money offers at auction. That $589K Lincoln penny was graded MS69, which is basically like saying the coin was kissed by angels. Now let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a potentially valuable penny. This was back in 2011. I was digging through my glove box trying to find enough change to pay for a drive-through milkshake. Found some crusty pennies, figured I'd dump them in one of those Coinstar machines and call it a day, but one coin caught my eye. It looked off-center like Abe Lincoln had decided to scoot over and make room for a friend. Something told me not to toss it in the machine. So I held onto it, took it home, cleaned it up, and posted a pic on an online coin forum. Turns out it was a minor die error. Not $589,000 rich, but it still sold for $72 online. $72 for a penny I almost fed to a vending machine. That's a 7,200% return. I was hooked after that, and it made me think, how many coins have I let slip through my fingers over the years? Probably enough to make a down payment on a house. So here's your checklist for the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Look for doubling in the text, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. Check for off-center strikes or die cracks on Lincoln's face or jacket. Feel the texture. Some rare ones were struck on the wrong metal and feel lighter or heavier than usual. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date. That tells you it came from Philadelphia, and if it looks perfect like Abe just got minted yesterday, that's a good sign. Don't clean it though. Seriously. Cleaning a coin is like washing a Picasso with dish soap. Just auntie. So you might be asking, why on earth would someone pay almost $600,000 for a penny? Well, it comes down to rarity, demand, and condition. When all three of those stars align, the value can skyrocket. Coin collectors are a passionate bunch, and when there's only one or two coins in the entire world with a specific error in near perfect shape, they go all in at auctions. Think of it like the baseball card market, but with more copper and less chewing gum. Alright, so let's break it down. You could be sitting on a literal goldmine and not even know it. The 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny may seem like a humble little coin, but if it's got that magic mix of error condition and rarity, it could be your ticket to a new car, a house, or maybe even early retirement. So next time you get change at the gas station, don't just toss those pennies into the cup holder. Take a second look. That 1 cent might be the start of a six-figure payday. And hey, if you learned something new today, or if this made you want to go check every penny in your couch cushions, then do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Because I've got a lot more coin secrets coming your way. From valuable quarters to rare nickels to the pennies that could make you rich, so subscribe, stick around, and who knows, the next coin I talk about might be sitting in your pocket right now. Hey folks, gather around the kitchen table or wherever you keep that mysterious jar of pennies you've been ignoring for the last 15 years. Because today, we are diving into something you probably never thought could happen. A penny from 1987 that looks totally ordinary might be worth a jaw-dropping $699,000. Yeah, you heard that right. Not $6.99. Not $699. But $699,000. That's life-changing coin cash for something you might have in your pocket right now. Now, before you run and flip over every coin in the couch cushions, stay with me. Because I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for, how to spot the valuable one, and how you might have a tiny copper-colored lottery ticket just sitting in your change jar. Pour a cup of coffee, put your feet up, and let's get into the wild story of the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny, how it became a treasure, what makes it worth nearly $700,000, and how a penny once saved me from total embarrassment at a diner. Yeah, we're going there too. Let's kick things off with a little background. The Lincoln penny, or Lincoln cent if we want to sound fancy, has been around since 1909. It's got Abe Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back for coins minted before 2009, and we've seen more design tweaks on these things than a reality show contestant's hairstyle. Now, in 1987, the US Mint cranked out hundreds of millions of pennies. Most were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which, oddly enough, didn't put a mint mark on its coins at the time. So when you see a 1987 penny with no mint mark, that usually just means it came from Philly. But here's the twist, not all 1987 no mint mark pennies are created equal. See, most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. Maybe 2 if you're lucky and find someone generous on eBay. But some have an error or a rare condition that sends their value into the coin stratosphere. We're talking die errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. That's a fancy way of saying the coin wasn't made exactly right, and collectors go nuts for that kind of thing. So, what kind of errors should you be looking for in this 1987 no mint mark penny that can get you a check with 6 figures? This is when the image or letters on the front are doubled. You'll notice it especially on the date or the word Liberty. It's like the coin had a little too much coffee and couldn't sit still during minting. Imagine Abe Lincoln's face looking like he's falling off the coin. That's a misaligned strike, and the more dramatic the off-center, the more valuable. Sometimes a penny ends up being stamped on a dime's metal. You'll notice it's thinner or the color is off. That mistake can turn 1 cent into a fortune. If the coin has never been circulated, looks pristine, and has all the details clearly visible, it could fetch serious money from collectors trying to complete perfect sets. One of these pennies was recently evaluated by a top grading service, PCGS if you're curious, and it received a Mint State 68 plus red designation. That means it's pretty much flawless. Red, in grading terms, doesn't mean the color is red like lipstick, it just means it hasn't dulled out or tarnished over time. And in the world of coin collecting, that's like finding a classic car with 0 miles on it. Now, let me tell you about the time a penny saved me from a full-blown financial disaster. Picture this, it's 2009, and I'm on a road trip with 2 friends. We pull into this retro diner somewhere in Indiana. You know the kind, checkered floors, waitresses who call you hon, and coffee that tastes like it's been simmering since Nixon was in office. Anyway, we eat like royalty: burgers, fries, milkshakes, the whole shebang. The bill comes and we're all laughing until I realize I forgot my wallet. Yep. The other 2 guys? They brought debit cards, but the diner was cash only. Classic. So we scrounged around the car and found exactly enough change, including one little 1987 penny with no mint mark, to pay the bill and leave a tiny tip. Now, to this day, I swear that might have been the penny. The $699,000 one. And I spent it on fries and shame. But hey, lesson learned. So, if you've got a bunch of old pennies lying around, don't dismiss them. Because yours might just be that golden ticket. Well, copper ticket technically use a magnifying glass or your phone's camera zoom, look closely at the date, the word Liberty, and Abe's profile, check both sides of the coin for any doubling, off-centering, or weirdness. If it looks unusual or super clean, take it to a coin shop or send it to a professional grader like PCGS or NGC, and if you find one that looks like a winner, don't spend it on fries like I did. Frame it. Protect it. Brag about it at every family gathering until they beg you to stop. Alright folks, here's the bottom line, check your change. That dusty jar full of forgotten coins might just be your retirement plan in disguise. A 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, with the right kind of error and condition, is worth up to $699,000. That's not some internet myth or rumor from your Uncle Larry who thinks every coin is valuable. That's real, certified collector value, and if you're into this kind of treasure hunt, there's a whole world of valuable coins just waiting to be discovered right in your pocket, your glove box, or that junk drawer we all have and pretend to organize once a year. So don't toss those pennies aside. Look at them closely. Examine them like you're Indiana Jones in a treasure cave. Because one of them might just be the coin that changes everything. Now, before you sprint to your car with a flashlight, do me a quick favor, smash that subscribe button, give this video a like, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any more coin tips. I've got more episodes coming about coins worth thousands, coin collecting strategies, and stories that are part comedy, part heartbreak, and 100% true. You don't want to miss it. Because next time, it might be your dime worth $1 million. Hey there coin hunters, treasure seekers, and folks who just dropped a penny and wondered if they should even bother picking it up. Today, let me tell you, you should have picked it up. Because if it was a 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you might have just dropped 81,000 dimes, that's right, $819,000 in today's market. How many of you have a jar full of change collecting dust on a shelf, in a drawer, maybe in your car cup holder where pennies stick to old coffee? Yeah, me too. But here's the kicker, sitting in that dusty pile could be a tiny copper coin that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a cabin in the mountains, and still leave you with enough to buy actual groceries without checking your bank app first. So grab that coffee, settle in, and let me walk you through why one humble little 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is turning heads in the coin world and why collectors are dishing out over $800,000 for the right one. So let's start with the basics. The 1988 Lincoln penny was produced in huge quantities. Billions. Yes, with a capital B. Most were made in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here's where it gets juicy. The no-mint mark version, the one made in Philly, had a very special, and we mean unintentional error, but it's not just any error. It's what collectors call a transitional error. That's coin speak for someone at the mint goofed up real good. See, in 1989, the US Mint made a change to the design of the Lincoln Memorial penny. They modified the reverse, that's the tails side for you non-coin nerds. Specifically, they swapped out the designer's initials. They went from using an older reverse die to the updated one that included the letters FG. Those stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse. And here's where it gets spicy, a small batch of 1988 pennies were struck using the 1989 reverse by mistake. Don't grab that magnifying glass yet, so you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1988 penny is worth more than my car? Well, the key detail is the designer's initials. The rare 1988 no-mint mark penny with the wrong reverse has a specific placement of the initials FG that's different from the normal 1988 version. On the transitional error, the G in FG is closer to the Lincoln Memorial and looks a little bolder. You don't need Superman's vision to spot it, just a decent magnifying glass or one of those $10 loops on Amazon. Check your 1988 pennies for these details. No mint mark under the date. The FG on the back is thicker and closer to the building boom. That's the one. You find that? You've hit the copper jackpot. Literally a 1-cent coin become worth over 800 grand. Well, it's all about rarity, demand, and timing. There are only a handful of verified examples of this 1988 transitional error. Coin collectors, especially those who love penny varieties, go wild for these sorts of mistakes. It's like catching a Pokemon with the wrong eyes or a baseball card with a spelling error. The rarer and more unique it is, the more it's worth. Back in 2022, one of these pennies sold at auction for over $800,000. And now in 2025, the top-end market value is clocked in at $819,000. That's nearly $1 million for a coin you might have accidentally vacuumed up last week. I mean, think about that, a single copper penny that can change your life. That's some coin magic right there. Okay, story time. A few years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. Now, this garage hadn't been touched since Bush was in office. The first Bush. So we're talking about a time capsule of 90s paint cans, cobwebs, and, you guessed it, a giant plastic tub of coins. I kid you not, this thing was big enough to be its own small bank. So naturally, I start sorting through them. After like an hour, I'm neck deep in nickels when I come across a shiny little 1988 penny. No mint mark. Now, at the time, I didn't know a thing about transitional dies. I just thought, hey, this one's got a nice luster, maybe I'll keep it. A week later, I learned about the 1988 error and immediately sprinted back to that tub like it was buried treasure. You ever seen a grown man panic over 1 cent? I looked like I was defusing a bomb with tweezers. Unfortunately, it was a regular one. But ever since that day, I check every single 1988 penny I come across. I even dream about them sometimes. Sad? Maybe. But I'll be laughing all the way to the bank the day I find the right one. Now, if you're thinking about getting serious with coin hunting, or just want to make sure you're not throwing away a small fortune, here are some pro tips. Always check the date and mint mark. No mint mark? That's a start. Learn to recognize common errors and rarities. Use coin apps or join collector forums. There are people who live and breathe this stuff, and some of them are happy to help clean your coins. Ever. You clean it, you kill the value. Let that penny stay dirty like it just ran through a pig pen. Get a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Your eyeballs just won't cut it. Be patient. Finding a rare coin is like fishing. You might catch something big on your first cast, or you might spend months sifting through spare change. But when that moment hits, when you find the penny that makes your eyebrows shoot up, it's pure magic. The humble 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could pay off your student loans, send your kids to college, or finally let you retire and open that barbecue food truck you've been daydreaming about. If you've got a stash of coins at home, it's time to dust them off. Dig through those drawers, jars, and glove compartments. You might be sitting on a mini fortune and not even know it. Don't keep this info to yourself. Share it with your friends, your neighbor Gary, even that one uncle who still wears socks with sandals. Let's turn everyone into treasure hunters, 1 penny at a time. Before you go, smash that like button like it owes you money, hit subscribe so you don't miss any more of these coin jackpot stories, and ring that bell like you just found a 1988 penny worth $819,000. Hey there fellow coin hunters and change checkers, welcome back to the channel where loose change could mean big bucks. Now before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever accidentally dropped a penny and left it behind thinking it's just 1 cent? Well, after today you might find yourself crawling under the couch cushions looking for that lonely little coin, because believe it or not, there's a 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny out there that's worth a jaw-dropping, mind-blowing wallet. Fattening $866,000. That's right folks, almost $1 million for a penny you could have ignored while paying for a candy bar. Now I know what you're thinking, come on, how can a penny from just a few years ago be worth that much? Is this one of those fairy tales like Bigfoot or calorie-free pizza? Nope, it's as real as your grandma's coin jar, and today I'm gonna tell you exactly why this little copper-colored hero is making collectors lose their minds, how you can spot one and maybe, just maybe, turn your spare change into life-changing money. So stick around because this is one you do not want to miss. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty, starting with the basics. What is the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Now when I say no mint mark, I mean exactly that. This penny doesn't have a little letter under the date. Normally you'd see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco or a P for Philadelphia, though fun fact, Philly usually doesn't even mark their penny. So a no mint mark 2016 Lincoln penny simply means it was made in Philadelphia, which is totally normal. But here's the kicker, there's something different about one very special 2016 penny. This isn't just any old penny from your sock drawer. This is a rare error coin, and that's the magic sauce in the world of coin collecting. Errors are like the golden tickets in the Willy Wonka world of numismatics. So what kind of error are we talking about here? Well, reports say this particular 2016 penny has a dramatic die clash error, which basically means the stamping machines at the mint decided to play bumper cars. Instead of stamping a coin, they smashed into each other with no coin in between, leaving the dies damaged. So when they went back to doing their job and stamping coins, those messed up dies transferred all sorts of weird ghostly impressions and shapes onto the pennies. The result, a Lincoln penny with visible outlines or shadow-like images that don't belong there. Think of it like Abraham Lincoln's face got photobombed by the inside. of a vending machine. Collectors go bananas for this kind of thing because these errors are rare, unintentional, and usually super hard to find. It's like finding a typo on a $100 bill, but somehow that makes it worth thousands more. Now the star of today's show, that one known 2016 no mint mark penny with the dramatic die clash, sold for a whopping $866,000 in a private sale. That's a number that could pay off your mortgage, buy a car, take a vacation, and still leave you enough to fill your gas tank, which is saying a lot these days. Now let me share a quick story from my own life. I was at the grocery store a few months ago and the total came to something like 1,003. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a handful of coins, and right there, right in front of me, was a 2016 penny. I swore I froze. The cashier looked at me like I'd just seen a ghost. I said, "Hold up," and pulled out my phone, opened my coin app, started checking every mark, every angle, every shimmer of copper. Spoiler alert, it was not, but hey, I still used it to pay for my gum with pride, because that's the thing, once you know coins could be worth big money, even the most boring looking ones become treasure. That one moment turned me from a casual coin tosser to a full-blown change checking maniac. My wife now gives me that look every time I hold up the line at the drive-thru while inspecting pennies under the dome light of the car. How you can spot a valuable 2016 penny. So let's talk about how you can check your 2016 pennies to see if you've struck copper gold. Look for the no mint mark. It should be below the year on the front. If there's a D or S, it's not the one we're talking about. Check the condition. This coin needs to be in great shape, no major scratches, dings, or corrosion. The cleaner it looks, the better your chances of a high value. Look for weird impressions, especially around Lincoln's face or the edges. These could be signs of a die clash or other mint error. Get a magnifying glass. Seriously, your eyes can only do so much, and if you're over 40 like me, reading fine print on coins is about as easy as threading a needle during an earthquake. If you see something unusual, take it to a coin shop or send it off to be graded. You want pros to give you the thumbs up before you start booking your dream vacation. So there you have it, folks. One little 2016 penny no mint mark from Philly managed to sell for $866,000 just because of a weird mint error. Is it rare? Yes. Is it possible to find another one? Maybe. Is it worth checking every penny in your house, desk, car, and laundry pile? Absolutely, because you never know, you might be walking around with a fortune in your pocket right now, and all it takes is one lucky find to change everything. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about coins that are secretly worth thousands, sometimes millions, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. I've got more tips coming your way. How to spot valuable quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, half dollars, heck, even dollar coins that are sitting right under your nose. So stick around, drop a like if you've ever dropped a penny, and maybe leave a comment below if you've got a weird coin story of your own. I'd love to hear it. Hey folks, gather around and grab your coffee, because today we're diving into something that could literally change the way you see that pile of pennies you've been ignoring since 1997. You ever picked up a penny off the sidewalk and thought, well, that's just 1 cent closer to a Coke? What if I told you that little copper coin could actually be worth more than a Lamborghini? Yup, you heard me right. There's a 1985 D Lincoln penny out there, hiding in plain sight, and guess what? One of these tiny copper fellas is valued at a jaw-dropping $826,000 in today's market. That's not a typo. That's the kind of money that makes your eyebrow twitch. Now, before you start flipping your couch cushions or raiding your kid's piggy bank, stick around. I'm gonna break down exactly what makes this coin so special, how you might find one, and what to look for so you don't accidentally toss a fortune into a Coinstar machine. Plus, I'll tell you a personal story that proves rare coins can really sneak up on you like an uninvited relative at Thanksgiving. So let's dive into the magical world of the 1985 D Lincoln penny and how you might be sitting on a hidden jackpot without even knowing it. Let's get nerdy for a second, but in a fun way. So the 1985 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Over 5 billion of these were made. Yeah, billion with a B. So you're probably thinking, how the heck is this one worth over 800 grand? Great question. Because most of those pennies were completely average. But here's the kicker. A handful were struck with insane errors and die varieties that make coin collectors lose their minds and open their wallets. We're talking misstrikes, off-centers, double dies, wrong planchets, you name it. The most valuable ones have dramatic mint errors or show unique, collectible features, like a bold double die on the obverse side or a transitional metal mistake. Basically, this one rare version of the 1985 D penny is a collector's unicorn. Think of it like a golden ticket hidden in a sea of copper discs. And yes, people are actually willing to drop hundreds of thousands of dollars for the right one. So about 10 years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her garage. You know, dust, spiders, old Elvis records, the works. And tucked behind a dusty mason jar full of screws and dried up rubber bands was this giant pickle jar filled with pennies. Grandma just chuckled and said, "Take 'em if you want." I only kept those 'cause I didn't feel like counting 'em at the grocery store. Naturally, I did what any broke 20-something would do, I took 'em home. Poured that mountain of change onto my kitchen table and started sorting. Now, I wasn't a coin guy back then, but one coin stood out. A 1985 D penny that just looked off. The color was funky, it felt slightly lighter, and the rim was thicker on one side. I held on to it. Fast forward to last year. I'd gotten into coin collecting and remembered that weird penny. Sent it off to get graded. Boom, MS-67 red, with a mint error. Not quite the jackpot, but it still came back worth over $1,000. Alright, here's the stuff you came for. What exactly makes the mega money version of the 1985 D penny a first? Look for mint errors. These are printing mistakes made during the minting process. The big money versions tend to have, where the image or lettering looks doubled, the coin looks like it was printed crooked, the penny was accidentally stamped on the wrong metal, a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a misfeed during striking. Second, condition matters. That 826K penny? It's not scratched up and grimy. We're talking MS-67 or higher, which means mint state, and practically perfect in every way. If yours has been living in the bottom of a junk drawer since the 80s, chances are it's not going to be mint, but you never know. Third, color counts. Collectors love that shiny reddish-orange hue. That's called a red designation. If yours has that coppery brilliance and the right error, you just might be in business. Let's break down the value. The average 1985 D penny in circulated condition? Worth a cent. Maybe two if you find someone feeling generous, but coins with mint errors, especially rare ones graded by pros like PCGS or NGC, have sold for thousands, and in that ultra-rare case, one graded MS-67 red with a known die error shot up to $826,000 at a major auction. There are coin collectors, investors, and dealers out there who will throw serious money at a penny with the right pedigree. Why? Rarity. Prestige. And let's be honest, bragging rights. It's not every day you can say, hey, I spent a penny and bought a house. Sounds simple, but you'd be shocked at what slips through. Older family members tend to have jars of coins lying around. Sometimes old coin jars get sold for cheap just to clear out space. Go to the bank, get $25 boxes of pennies, and search through them. Invest in a magnifying glass, a good one. And maybe a desk lamp. Your eyes will thank you. So there you have it. One humble little 1985 D Lincoln penny could be worth enough to buy your dream car, pay off your mortgage, or finally build that man cave you've been dreaming of since you were 12. Coins like this are the reason coin collecting isn't just for history buffs or your uncle with the 1970s beard. It's exciting. It's rewarding. And sometimes, it's downright profitable. If you've got a jar of pennies lying around, don't ignore it. Go through it. Who knows? That one weird-looking coin at the bottom might be the key to your next big adventure. Now, before you run off and tear apart your sock drawer, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that little bell so you don't miss the next hidden gem we uncover. I drop videos every week with real coin stories, market values, and tips that can help turn your loose change into serious cash. Leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you've got a question about one you're curious about. I read every one and love hearing your stories. Hey, coin hunters and penny pinchers. Let me hit you with something wild. You ever reach into your pocket, pull out a penny, and think, welp, just another useless copper donut? Yeah, same here. But what if I told you that one of those little brown coins with Abraham Lincoln's serious mug on it could be worth more than $500,000? I'm talking $626,000. For a penny. That's like finding a Ferrari in your sock drawer. Yep. Today we're diving deep into the 2020 D Lincoln penny. That's right, the one with the Denver mint mark. One of these bad boys has reportedly been sold for a whopping $626,000. And before you toss yours into the tip jar or use it to scratch off a lottery ticket, you might want to watch this video all the way through. It's got everything. Rare errors. A modern coin that slipped through the cracks. And how a regular guy like you or me might have one sitting in a jar next to expired batteries and old paper clips. So settle in. Grab a drink. And whatever you do, do not spend your change until you've seen this. Alright, let's break this down. The 2020 Lincoln penny, not exactly what you'd think of when someone says rare coin, right? I mean, 2020 was a year full of crazy stuff, but a valuable penny? That's the plot twist none of us saw coming. The 2020 penny is part of the Lincoln Shield series. You know the one. It's got the Union shield on the back, kind of looks like Captain America's shield if he shopped at Home Depot. It replaced the old Lincoln Memorial design in 2010. These pennies are mostly made of zinc with a copper coating, so they're not exactly gold bars. Minted in Denver, turned out to have a rare die error. And not just any error. We're talking about an error so clean, so distinct, that it sent collectors into a frenzy. A high-grade version of this penny, with a sharp strike and that D mint mark, was authenticated and valued at, drumroll, $626,000. Well, collectors speculate that this penny had a super crisp double die. That's when the design is struck twice but not perfectly aligned. It creates a ghost-like shadow image that's actually really hard to get in modern coins because the mint is usually on top of their game. This particular coin was graded MS-70, basically the Olympic gold medal of coins. No scratches. No fingerprints. No signs it ever touched a gum wrapper. Pristine. It could have easily been tossed into circulation. Used at a vending machine. Spent on a Slim Jim at a gas station. We don't know the full backstory, but we do know someone out there got very, very lucky last summer. I was helping my nephew clean out his piggy bank. He's 12, but somehow has the savings habits of a retired accountant. We're pouring the coins onto the table, and suddenly this shiny penny catches my eye. I'm not kidding, it looked brand new. Mint state, like it had just been printed and beamed directly into his piggy bank from the Denver Mint. 2020, D Mint mark. My heart started doing cartwheels. I mean, I was already mentally picking out yachts and Googling how to quit your job gracefully. Turns out, it wasn't the one. But it did get me down the rabbit hole of checking every single coin I come across. Because if one person can find a penny worth $626,000, what's stopping the rest of us? It's like winning the lottery, except the ticket is already in your pocket. Now let's talk about how you can spot one. Look for 2020 with the little d under the year. That's the Denver Mint double dies, off-center strikes. Even odd coloring can indicate a mistake that makes the coin rare. Seriously, don't go squinting like you're Sherlock Holmes. Get a proper magnifier so you can inspect the details. This is a big one. Cleaning a coin is like trying to wash a Picasso with dish soap. Don't do it. You'll ruin the value. If you think you've got something special, send it off to a reputable coin grading service. It costs a bit, but if it comes back as MS-65 or higher, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Coins like this don't usually make the news. So unless you're tuned into the coin collecting world, you'd never even know they exist. But now you do. So there you have it, folks. The 2020 Lincoln penny. A tiny little coin that's worth enough to buy a house, a car, or an entire aisle of snacks at Costco. What's wild is that it's hiding in plain sight. You might have one in your car's cup holder. Or tucked in the back of your junk drawer next to expired batteries and at least 3 random keys you'll never identify. Seriously, do this tonight. Go grab the jar of loose change you've been ignoring since 2013. Dump it on the table. Grab a cold drink, a magnifying glass, and start hunting. Who knows? You might strike gold or copper zinc, in this case. And hey, if this video gave you a spark, if you're now itching to check under your couch cushions, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Smash the bell so you don't miss a single tip on valuable coins that could change your life. I've got more coming your way. Pennies, quarters, even nickels that are worth more than your last paycheck. Coins are more than just change. They could be your big change. Thanks for watching, and remember, check your pockets before you do your laundry. You might be washing away a $626,000 fortune. Hey folks, let me ask you something real quick. What if I told you that the beat-up penny sitting in your junk drawer, hiding under the couch cushions, or glued to the bottom of your car cup holder might just be worth over $700,000? That's right. $716,000. Not pesos. Not monopoly money. Real, cold, hard cash. We're diving deep into the world of the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, the one that could turn you from budget burger guy to prime rib king in no time. So grab your coffee, sit tight, and check your pockets, because this video might just have you yelling "I'm rich" before we hit the halfway mark. Now, before we go full Indiana Jones on this coin adventure, let me hit you with a personal story that'll make you shake your head and maybe laugh a little. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out my garage. You know, one of those I'm tired of living in a junkyard kind of Saturdays. I found this old jar filled with coins. Nothing fancy. Just quarters, nickels, a few dimes that looked like they'd fought a lawnmower and lost. I was just about to dump the whole thing into a Coinstar machine at the grocery store when my buddy Jerry, coin nerd and proud of it, stopped me. He pulls out this little brown penny and goes all Sherlock Holmes on it. Next thing I know, he's yelling, "Bro, this could be worth something." I laughed. Said, "It's a penny, Jerry." He didn't laugh. He pulled out this magnifying glass he carries around like some kind of treasure hunter and starts explaining why this thing might be special. And that, my friends, is how I learned about the 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny. I didn't have the jackpot coin, but it got me hooked. And that's why you're here, because just maybe, you might have the jackpot coin. First off, the no mint mark part just means it was made in Philadelphia. Back in the day, Philly didn't stamp their coins with a letter like Denver or San Francisco did. So if you look under the date on your 1984 penny and there's no little D or S, congratulations, you've got a no mint mark, but that alone doesn't make it worth a small fortune. Oh no. What really gives this little guy its punch is a rare error that collectors drool over. Yep. You heard right. The double ear. Sounds like a bad wrestling move, but it's actually a pretty cool minting mistake. On some of the 1984 pennies, if you look at Lincoln's ear, and I mean really look at it, you'll notice what looks like a second ear lobe right behind the first. Like Honest Abe grew an extra ear overnight. This error happened during the striking process, when the die used to stamp the penny was misaligned. Basically, the coin got hit with a double image in that area. That extra lobe is what makes this penny worth big bucks. Now don't go grabbing a magnifying glass from your kid's detective kit just yet. The double ear is pretty distinct, and you don't need to squint too hard if you've got one. A good flashlight or phone light will help, but if you're seeing double, you're not imagining things. That could be the jackpot. A pristine 1984 Lincoln penny with the double ear error, graded MS67 red, that's mint state and still shiny like it just left the press, sold for over $716,000 at auction. That's house money. That's new truck with a boat money. That's quit your job and start your own barbecue sauce company money. Why so much? Rarity. Condition. Demand. And a little thing called coin collector frenzy. Only a handful of these double ear errors exist in super high grades. Most coins get dinged up just sitting in your pocket or bouncing around in drawers. But the few that survived in great shape? Absolute goldmines. Even if your penny isn't in mint condition, it could still be worth a few thousand. Not bad for something that most people would toss in a parking lot or use to scratch off a lotto ticket. That's your first checkpoint. No D or S under the 1984 date. If there's a clear doubling of the earlobe, you've got something worth looking into. Red pennies, meaning they still have that bright copper look, are worth more. If it's been through a blender, don't expect top dollar. But if it's in a coin flip or has barely circulated, you're in the running. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Seriously. Coin collectors treat clean coins like folks treat microwaved steak ruined. Take it to a local coin shop or better yet, send it in for grading through a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Now, once word gets out that a coin could be worth hundreds of thousands, you bet there are going to be shady folks trying to cash in. Some people artificially double strike coins. Others sell fakes online. Don't fall for it, only buy from trusted dealers. Check reviews. Look for certification. If it sounds too good to be true, like someone offering you a rare penny for $20 on social media, it probably is, but if you find one yourself, oh baby, the sky's the limit. Some folks retire early thanks to rare finds like this. Others just cash in for a fat vacation fund. Either way, it's a win. Always check your change. Especially those boring-looking pennies from the 80s. A small detail like an extra earlobe can turn your penny into a Porsche. That old coin jar in your garage might just be the best savings account you never knew you had. Now here's the deal. If you enjoyed this video, had a laugh, or learned something new that might just make you a few thousand richer, go ahead and smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. We've got more coin tips, hidden treasure stories, and ways to turn pocket change into profit every single week. Hit that bell so you don't miss a beat. Share this video with your friends who might be sitting on a gold mine. And as always, keep hunting, keep laughing, and keep collecting. I'm out, but your penny fortune might just be getting started. Hey folks, gather around and listen up because I've got a wild one for you today. Imagine this. You're digging in your couch cushions looking for some spare change to grab a soda. You find a dusty old penny from 1987. No mint mark. You think nothing of it. Maybe you flick it across the room, maybe you toss it in a jar, maybe if you're like me, you stare at it for a second and wonder if it's even worth keeping. Well, let me tell you this, the dusty penny could be worth $786,000. That's right. Nearly 800 grand. For one little copper-colored coin that's probably chilling in your glove box right now. I'm not kidding. You could be walking around with a jackpot in your pocket today. We're diving deep into the story of the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a small fortune, how to tell if you've got the magic one, and what makes it so dang special. And stick around because I'm gonna tell you about the time I almost spent one of these puppies on a pack of gum. Yep, true story. First things first, let's talk about the basics. The 1987 Lincoln penny is part of the Memorial Reverse series. You know the one. Honest Abe on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Simple, classic, and practically everywhere in the late 80s to now. Normally, these coins were made at two main mints, Philadelphia and Denver. If you've ever looked at a penny and seen a little D under the year, that's from Denver. If there's nothing there, that means it was made in Philly. But here's where it gets interesting, most 1987 pennies without a mint mark? Worth a cent. Maybe two if it's shiny. But there's a rare batch out there, super rare, that has a perfect storm of weirdness, like minting errors, flawless condition, and microscopic oddities that make collectors drool. And those are the ones selling for big money. We're talking $786,000 big. Why is this penny so special? You ever hear someone say, it's not the coin, it's the story? Well, in this case, it's both. Some of these 1987 no-mint mark pennies were struck using the wrong planchet, that's the blank metal disc the coin is stamped on. Imagine printing your resume on toilet paper. Wrong material, right? That's what happened here. Other valuable versions have errors like double die obverse, where parts of the design are doubled. Looks like Honest Abe had a couple too many and couldn't sit still. Those kinds of mistakes? Coin nerds like me absolutely love them. And we pay big bucks for 'em, then you've got condition. If your penny is in mint state, meaning it looks brand new like it was never even touched by human hands, you're in business. And if it's graded by a professional as MS-67 or higher? You might just be sitting on your retirement fund. Alright, now let's talk cheddar. Right now, as of today, that top-tier 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can sell for $786,000 in the collector's market. That's almost the price of a house. Or 2 Teslas and a boat. Or one of those weird houses that float on a Tesla boat. Now, most of them won't go for that much, obviously. But here's the thing, people are still paying thousands for slightly less perfect versions. Even a lower-grade error coin can pull in a few hundred or even a couple thousand. That's still a heck of a lot better than 1 cent, right? So, a few years ago, I was standing in line at a gas station, sweaty, tired, and desperate for a cold root beer. I dig into my pocket, pull out some coins, slap them on the counter. The clerk starts picking them up, and something catches my eye. A 1987 penny. No mint mark. And it was shiny. I mean, unusually shiny. I grab it back, like some sort of maniac, and the clerk looks at me like I'm trying to scam him. I say, wait, I think this might be worth something. I go home, do some digging, and find out that the coin I almost spent on a bottle of root beer had all the signs of a rare error. Long story short? I got it graded. It wasn't the jackpot coin, but it sold for $1,100. Not bad for almost chugging it away. No mint mark under the date. Super shiny, almost untouched surface. Any weird errors, doubling, misaligned edges, off-center designs. A professional grade of MS67 or better. If you find one that ticks even a couple of those boxes, do not spend it. Wrap it in a napkin, kiss it goodnight, and get it graded fast, and please, don't clean it. No soap, no toothpaste, no grandma's jewelry polish. Collectors want it raw and real, not shiny and scratched. So, there you have it, folks. The humble 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny, something you've probably held 1,000 times without a second thought, might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Or at least to a very nice vacation and a fridge that doesn't make weird noises. Don't underestimate the change jingling in your pocket. Coins like this one are out there, just waiting for someone like you to flip one over and go, wait a second. Now, if you like this little trip down the coin collecting rabbit hole, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button like it's a vending machine that ate your last dollar. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next coin that could be worth more than your car. And if you've got a wild coin story or think you found a rare one, drop it in the comments. I want to hear it. Hey there, folks. Let me hit you with a question that's gonna have you running for your change jar. What if I told you that a simple copper-colored penny, specifically one from 2002 with a little D mint mark on it, could be worth almost $1 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Not 100. Not 1,000. Not even 100,000. Try $946,000. For a penny. The kind you probably flicked off your dresser this morning or found stuck between your car seats next to an old French fry. Now, before you flip your couch cushions looking for one, let me walk you through the crazy world of coins, hidden gems in your pocket change, and the jaw-dropping story of this 2002 D Lincoln penny. We're diving deep into what makes this little guy so special, why collectors are throwing serious money at it, and how you can spot one before someone else does. So buckle up, grab your coffee, and maybe even grab your coin jar because today's episode is gonna blow your mind and maybe fatten your wallet. Let's break this down. That D stands for Denver, which is where this particular penny was minted. Now, in 2002, the US Mint produced over 3.4 billion Lincoln pennies. That's billion with a B. So how on earth does one of those end up worth almost $1 million? Well, my friend, it all comes down to rarity and a perfect storm of mistakes, conditions, and timing. You see, most of these pennies are just your everyday, run-of-the-mill coins. But every now and then, a few slip through the cracks with something funky going on. And collectors? Oh man, they go wild for funky. Now this particular 2002 D penny that hit the market for $946,000, yeah, that's not your average beat-up penny. This one had all the right stuff. We're talking a coin that looks like it came straight off the press. Not a scratch. Not a ding. Like it never even saw the inside of a vending machine. And no, I don't mean it was fashionable. I mean it was literally struck incorrectly. This could be anything from a doubled die to a misaligned strike or even an off-metal error. In the case of this penny, experts believe it was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a 4-in-1, giving it a unique composition and color. Now I know this sounds boring, but hang with me. The coin was sent to a professional grading service. It got a super high grade, which basically means collectors look at this thing and say, yep, she's a beauty. The higher the grade, the higher the payday. And here's where the magic really happens. You've got a bunch of hardcore collectors who need this specific coin for their sets. They've got the money, and they're not afraid to spend it. Add a bit of auction day adrenaline, and boom, a penny fetches close to $1 million. Simple. Start checking your change. I'm not kidding. You don't need a treasure map or a metal detector. You just need a sharp eye and a little patience. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom. Look at those 2002 D pennies. Check for odd coloring. Look at Lincoln's head, does anything look off? Weird doubling on the letters? Strange shine? A penny that feels a bit too light or heavy. If you find something suspicious, don't chuck it in the Coinstar. That little guy might be your ticket to the good life. Heck, it might pay off your mortgage, alright. Now let me tell you a quick personal story. About 5 years ago, I'm digging through an old coffee can of coins in my dad's garage. You know the kind. Dusty, half-rusted, smells like WD-40 and old man dreams. Anyway, I'm bored, flipping through them just for fun, when I notice a penny that's a little off color. Lighter than usual. Almost golden. So I set it aside, didn't think much of it. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I take it to a local coin dealer. Guy looks at it, then looks at me, then looks at it again like I just handed him a gold nugget. Turns out, it wasn't worth $1 million, but it was worth $300 because it had a rare off-metal strike. From a coffee can. Sitting in a garage since 1984. Don't underestimate the power of a penny. You could be one coin away from a life-changing discovery. On the front, right under the year odd coloring or weight may be struck on the wrong metal, doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's face, known as a doubled die. Perfect or nearly perfect condition, sharp details, nowhere anything that just doesn't look normal. Sometimes, these errors are so subtle, they only show up under magnification. So get yourself a little loop, or use your phone with a macro lens. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes, just observant. So there you have it. A tiny copper-colored coin from 2002, stamped in Denver, possibly worth almost $1 million. And it could be sitting in your kitchen junk drawer right now. I mean, who knew a penny could buy you a beach house, a Ferrari, or heck, enough tacos to feed an entire small town? The world of coin collecting isn't just for dusty old guys with magnifying glasses. It's for you. For anyone who loves a good mystery, a bit of history, and maybe even a big payout. So here's what I want you to do: go check your change. Dig through your coin jars. Ask your grandma if she's got an old piggy bank laying around. You never know what you'll find. If you're hungry for more stories about hidden treasures, million-dollar coins, and how to make serious money from everyday stuff, then hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Like it owes you money. And turn on those notifications so you never miss a tip that might just make you rich. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Go find that $1 million penny. And remember, the next big treasure might be jingling in your pocket right now. Hey folks, grab your cup of coffee, kick back in your favorite recliner, and get ready to have your mind absolutely blown. Because somewhere, maybe in your junk drawer, maybe in that dusty old coin jar on your dresser, you could be sitting on a small, copper-colored fortune. I'm talking about a plain old penny, but not just any penny. This one's got no mint mark, came from 1979, and it's worth a whopping $816,000. Yeah, you heard me right. 816 grand. For a penny. That's more than some houses. More than a Lamborghini. More than I spent on barbecue in my entire life, and that's saying something. So how the heck does a coin that most people don't even bend over to pick up become a treasure chest in disguise? Stick with me, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about this rare 1979 Lincoln cent and why it's making headlines in the coin collecting world. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be tearing apart couch cushions like you're looking for lost treasure. Let's dive in. So first things first, what exactly is the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, it's a 1-cent coin from the year 1979, obviously, but here's where it gets spicy. It was struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally didn't put mint marks on its pennies at the time. So, when you flip this baby over and don't see a little P, that's actually pretty normal, but, and here's the kicker, not all no mint mark 1979 pennies are valuable. In fact, 99.9999% of them are worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe 2 if you're lucky, and selling it to your neighbor who thinks it looks shiny. So what makes this one so special? We're talking about a coin that is in pristine, museum-quality condition. Numismatists, fancy word for coin nerds, use a grading system that goes up to 70. The closer to 70, the more perfect the coin is. Most of the coins we've got rattling around in our change jar are lucky to hit 20. They've been through drive-thrus, vending machines, maybe even a laundry cycle or two. It was practically born in a bubble. The legendary one sold for 816 grand was graded MS68 red. That red means it kept its original copper color, nice and bright, as if it just came off the press. Combine that with the perfect strike and flawless surface, and boom, coin collecting fireworks. Now, here's the thing. Even though millions of these were made in Philly, finding one in that mint state MS68 red condition is like trying to find a clean spoon in a bachelor's sink. They just don't exist in the wild. Most have been scratched, smudged, pocketed, or plain forgotten, and because collectors want the absolute best for their sets, especially the folks with deep pockets, they'll pay top dollar for a penny that looks like it hasn't aged a day. That's how you get an auction result like $816,000, alright, time for a little personal tale. A couple years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had these old dusty mason jars full of coins, nothing organized, just clinking chaos. I'm talking state quarters, nickels with bite marks, dimes stuck to old gum wrappers. He was about to dump the whole mess in one of those grocery store coin machines, but something in me said, hold on a sec. So I took the jars home. Spent hours, days even, sorting through them like Indiana Jones digging for treasure. That's when I found a 1979 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. My heart did that little hiccup. Now, mine didn't turn out to be the $816,000 Holy Grail, but it did grade out at MS65 red, and I sold it for over $100. Not bad for a penny that was stuck to an old AA battery. Moral of the story? You never know what's hiding in plain sight. What you think is junk might just be a hidden gem. Step 1. Don't throw it in a tip jar. Step 2. Look at its condition. Is it scratched up like it went through a cheese grater? Or is it bright and fresh, with that perfect copper shine? Step 3. Get it graded. Use a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Yeah, it costs a bit, but if your coin turns out to be a rare beauty, it's more than worth the fiat. If you find one and your first instinct is to clean it with a toothbrush and toothpaste, please, don't. That's like restoring the Mona Lisa with a power washer. Just don't. Coin collecting is kind of like fishing, right? Most days, you catch nothing but old bottle caps and soda tabs. But then, one day, you pull up a gold nugget. And man, does that make it all worth it. It's also a hobby you can do with your kids, with your parents, or just by yourself with a flashlight and a big ol' magnifying glass. Whether you're in it for the thrill, the history, or the money, there's something magical about finding out that a tiny little penny could change your life. So there you have it. The unassuming, often ignored, 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny, worth up to $816,000 if you've got the right one in top-notch condition. It's a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things can have the biggest value. Literally. And now, I don't know about you, but I'm about to dig through every jar, drawer, and coin purse I can find. If grandma's got a change dish, I'm checking that too. You never know, right? If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, or if you just like hearing some dude ramble on about coins while making corny jokes, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss the next big coin tip. I've got plenty more stories, strategies, and surprising coin values coming your way. Plus, we're building a little treasure hunting crew here, and you're officially invited. So come along for the ride. Let's find the next $1 million penny together. Hey folks, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, Matt, it's just a cent? Well, what if I told you one little copper-colored coin from 2015, yes, the kind most people ignore or lose between the couch cushions, could actually be worth $596,000? Yep. Nearly 600 grand for a penny. That's the kind of money that changes lives. Pays off the house. Buys the dream car. Turns a garage into the ultimate man cave with a grill, mini fridge, poker table, and a recliner that gives you a full-body massage. But the thing is, not just any 2015 penny. We're talking about a very specific one. One with a little quirk that makes it super rare, highly collectible, and worth more than its weight in gold. Literally. So today, I'm gonna break it all down for you. We'll talk about what makes this 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot one, why collectors are going bonkers over it, and just for fun, I'll tell you a story about the time I almost tossed a valuable penny right into a vending machine for a pack of gum. Stick around, because this is one coin you do not want to overlook. What's the deal with a 2015 Lincoln penny having no mint mark? Doesn't sound that wild, right? I mean, most pennies don't have a mint mark. But here's where it gets spicy. Most pennies without a mint mark are made in Philadelphia. That's normal. But in 2015, a small batch of these pennies, super small, were struck with some very weird and rare die errors. We're talking things like double dies, off-center strikes, and crazy clean planchets that slip through the usual production process like a sneaky ninja. Now, combine that with no mint mark and bam, you've got yourself one super rare penny that makes collectors drool like a dog staring at a steak. Only a tiny handful of these error coins have ever been found in the wild. And when they pop up at auction, bidding wars break out like it's Black Friday at a flat-screen TV sale. That's why one of these bad boys sold for $596,000. That's 600 times more than my first CAR.NO mint mark under the date. That tells you it's from the Philly Mint. Not rare by itself, but step 1. Check the condition. A penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is a huge deal. If it's still got that shiny copper glow and no scratches or nicks, you're in business. Errors. Look closely at the lettering. Are any of the letters doubled? Is Lincoln's ear looking funky? Is the coin slightly off-center? All of those could mean a rare mint error. Wait. Some of the high-value 2015 pennies are on planchets meant for foreign coins or older pennies. If you've got a good digital scale and it weighs off from the standard 2.5 grams, that's a sign. Professional grading. If your penny checks out, it might be time to send it off to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's like getting your coin a diploma, makes it way more valuable and legit. Now here's where it gets personal. I was at a gas station one night, digging through my pockets to pay for a Gatorade and a bag of beef jerky. Didn't want to break a 20, so I start pulling out change. I toss a few pennies on the counter, and the cashier, who, by the way, couldn't care less about coins, picks one up and squints at it. He goes, "Hey man, you sure you want to spend this?" He goes, "I collect coins. This one's weird." I look at it. 2015, no mint mark. Looked clean. Really clean. And now, I had no idea about error coins back then. So I pocketed it, thanked the guy, and hit the Google hard when I got home. Turned out, it was just a normal penny. Nothing wild. But, and here's the twist, that moment is what got me into coin collecting. And you better believe I've been checking every penny since. One of these days, I'm gonna hit the jackpot, and when I do, I'm buying that cashier a Gatorade and a jerky. Full circle, baby. Check your change, folks. You might be sitting on a treasure without even knowing it. Now, if you're still with me, I hope you've got your pockets turned inside out by now, digging for any 2015 pennies. Remember, it's all in the details. No mint mark, pristine condition, strange errors, and maybe a little luck on your side. It's history in your hands. Every coin tells a story. Some tell stories worth six figures. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, pick it up. It might just be your ticket to a new truck, a Hawaiian vacation, or early retirement. And if you found this video helpful, funny, or at least better than watching paint dry, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Smash it like you just found $1 million coin in your junk drawer. We've got more coin tips, rare finds, and stories coming your way. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this channel is your go-to spot for turning pocket change into payday. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to go raid your piggy bank right now. And remember, always check your change. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel that's all about turning pocket change into life change. Yup, you heard that right. Because today, we're talking about a tiny copper coin that might just pay off your mortgage, your student loans, and buy you the dream fishing boat you've been eyeing since 2003. I'm talking about the 2014 Lincoln penny. Looks like any other old penny, right? But one of these little guys recently made headlines with a jaw-dropping value of $656,000. That's not a typo. $656,000. For a penny. Now, before you run off to flip the couch cushions or shake down your piggy bank like a madman, stick around. I'm gonna tell you exactly why this coin is worth so much, how you can identify one, and share a hilarious story that involves me, a metal detector, and a chicken coop. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. So what exactly is the 2014 Lincoln penny? It's part of the modern penny lineup, the ones with Abraham Lincoln facing to the right on the front and the Union shield on the back. That D mint mark under the date means it was struck in Denver, and now normally, 2014 D pennies aren't rare. They made over 4 billion of these. You've probably had 100 in your pocket at one time without even thinking about it. But here's where things get spicy. The $656,000 version of the 2014 D penny isn't just your average coin. It's got a very rare mint error, and it's that error that makes all the difference. This particular coin was struck on a copper planchet instead of the standard zinc-coated one. Let me break that down for anyone who's not a certified coin nerd yet. Since 1982, most pennies are made from zinc with a thin layer of copper. But every now and then, due to a mix-up at the mint, a copper blank from an older batch or a foreign coin sneaks into the press. Boom! Instant rarity. A penny that weighs slightly more, has a different tone and look, and makes collectors go absolutely bananas. And if it's in pristine condition, like mint state 68 or higher, that baby is like the holy grail of modern pennies. First thing you'll need is a scale. A regular 2014 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. But the copper ones? Closer to 3.1 grams. That small difference is huge in the world of coins. A second, get a magnifying glass. You want to look for clean, sharp details, no scratches, and no wear. Basically, it should look like it just left the mint, hopped in an armored truck, and went straight to your sock drawer. And finally, if you think you've got something special, get it authenticated. Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify it, grade it, and give it the credibility it needs to fetch that high market price. Now let's talk about how we know this coin is worth that much. One of these era 2014 pennies went up for auction, and collectors went nuts. Bidding started at a few $1,000s, which is already crazy for a penny, but as word spread that it was a confirmed copper planchet strike in near perfect condition, the price kept climbing. And climbing. Until it hit the jaw-dropping 656 grand. Folks, that's more than the average price of a house in most cities. For a coin that fits under your fingernail. Alright, time for a quick story. A few years back, I got bit by the metal detecting bug. You know, you see those videos online of people finding Civil War buttons in pirate gold, and you think, yeah, that'll be me. So I grab a detector, head out to my cousin's farm, and decide the chicken coop is the jackpot zone. After all, chickens are unpredictable. Who knows what they've scratched up? I'm out there beeping and digging, dodging chicken poop like it's landmines, and what do I find? A 2014 penny. My heart starts racing. I pull out my scale. Boom! 3.1 grams. I'm doing cartwheels in the yard while the chickens are giving me side-eye. Turns out, it was just a regular old copper penny from a 1980s pocket spill. Not the jackpot. But man, for a minute there, I thought I was buying a yacht. Always check. You never know where that special penny might pop up. It could be in your glove box, at the bottom of your laundry pile, or yeah, even under a chicken coop. So why should you care about some obscure penny? Because coins like this prove that value can be hiding in plain sight. While everyone's out chasing crypto and stocks, a penny could be your next big win. Most of these valuable coins are found by regular people. Not dealers. Not historians. Not Indiana Jones with a fedora and whip. Just regular folks who checked their change, noticed something odd, and took action. You don't need a treasure map. You just need curiosity, a little knowledge, and maybe a magnifying glass. This hobby is fun, it's cheap to start, and it can literally pay off big. The 2014 Lincoln penny might look like every other coin in your junk drawer, but if it's one of those rare copper strikes with a mint error in near perfect condition, it could be worth a life-changing $656,000. That's the kind of discovery that makes this coin collecting hobby not just exciting, but downright addictive. Now here's what I want you to do next. Go check your coins. Check your old jars, your drawers, that pile of change in your car that's fused together with lint and dried soda. We're not just looking for pocket change anymore, we're treasure hunting, and if you want more tips, strategies, and stories about coins that are secretly worth big money, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, smash it like you'd smash a piggy bank if you thought there was $500,000 inside. Click that bell too, so you don't miss a single episode. This is your buddy in change, reminding you every coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth more than gold.